So when you hear stories about women not coming forward and how dare they, I definitely can feel for them and have empathy that that's not something top of mind that you want to talk about. You open yourself up for judgment and scrutiny and shame and guilt around it. And then once you haven't told for so long, time goes on and goes on and goes on, and you're like, well, what point do I tell this story, and then why would it matter?
Didn't want to have sex with him, and then so I pretended that I fell asleep.
He started inching towards me and kind of cornering me up against the bar, and I think at first I was nervously laughing because I didn't know what else to do. And he was just coming towards me. But then he started putting his hand up my dress and sliding it up my body even further and getting in my underwear. And then I was saying no, stop, seriously, stop it.
And it started slow. I think this particular man wasn't sure about how far he could take it. And I think once he was able to gauge from my response or lack thereof, just because there was a fear factor, and he was someone I trusted. There wasn't a lot of conversation that was had. It was a lot of touching, and it lasted probably a good year.
When I was entering my teen years, I started having a strange flashback that I had no idea where it came from, but I remembered I would remember being in bed taking a nap with my dad, and he began to touch me in a way that was not appropriate.
And I remember him holding my eye open to see if I was asleep or not. And then he just did it anyway. And I remember in my head thinking, oh my God, what is happening right now?
So I think it was an intimidating feeling of oh, this guy has been so nice. And there's also confusion of he's been so nice to me before. Maybe this is an extension of being nice, and maybe this is kind of my payback, or, me paying for him being so nice to me.
And he was just laughing and thought it was funny and kept doing it. Ugh. I just never told anybody about it.
I think for myself it was, what am I going to do? Who's going to believe me? And even if I tell them, what would be the point?
It's not all that uncommon to have an offender be someone that's either close to you, a family member, or a close friend of the family.
There's so many women in the world, and girls, and including myself, that are not really sure if they were raped or not. And probably a lot of guys that maybe don't know if they raped or not.